Hello and welcome back to Let's Play RollerCoaster Tycoon 2. This is episode 7 and I've just finished building this junior roller coaster. Decided to add a block brake to allow more trains, and then we have to test it again. Unfortunately, I never recorded the coaster window for the whole duration of the ride, but you will get to see more than half of it later on. But first I gotta make room for the queue line. I have to remove some of that other queue line there to make room for this one. It's going to go through the coaster itself, more specifically slightly under it. This is probably a good time to talk about the imminent future of this series. On Sunday I'm going on holiday for almost a week, so you'll have to wait a bit longer for the next episode. And this and that episode will mostly be me building scenery and stuff like that. But then after that I'm gonna start working on the next roller coaster, which, as I said before, is a mini roller coaster with rocket cars. But anyway, now I'm building this queue line here around the whole ride. Very long queue, fits a lot of people in it. And now it's done. Time to set up the ride ticket price up to 7, because the excitement rating is almost 7. Intensity is almost 6 and nausea was 5.62 or something. You can pause the video to look at them. And then the name of this ride is Locust Swarm, as in the biblical plague that rid Egypt, ancient Egypt, according to the Bible or whatever. Making some good money here already, 20,000 euros. Let's make the path and queue line a little longer. Why not? Or actually not, because I decided to make it so that it starts on the corner or intersection, so more people end up going into it. The theming of this coaster is gonna be, despite the name, it's gonna be more classical things, those coliseums and whatnot. Maybe in this universe the grasshoppers invaded the Roman Empire as well. And here we have the train going at normal speed through the track. You can see how it goes through those helixes and things. Around a coliseum that doesn't exist yet. And on to the second lift hill. Unfortunately, at this point for some reason I decided to look at stalls and rides and whatnot, so you don't get to see how the train goes. But now you can see some of it as it goes through the last 3 helixes. Into that tunnel and through that block brake. And last lift hill onto the station. Then some queue lines. A lot of guests already lining up to give me their money. Then we have to replace some benches and lamps and trash cans for this new path. There we go. And then it's time to take another quick look at the budget, save the game, make an edit, and then start building some scenery. I'm going to cover this queue area make it so that it's inside. Going with some cream colored walls and arch windows and cream colored roof as well. It's going to cover those another save there, cover those paths as well on both sides, like so. I didn't know about this trick back then, but you can, while you press shift, if you also press control and then release shift, you can build multiple roofs or other types of blocks on that same elevation. Sometimes it's pretty tricky because you have to position the mouse at the exact height for it to work correctly. And it's very useful for building roofs. Like at this point I could have used that trick, but I didn't know it back in 08 yet. And I'm gonna add some window things to the roof so that it's not just one continuous boring roof. That thing is not gonna work because it's too high compared to the roof. Leaves a little opening, so I'm gonna make it smaller. This roof building's gonna take a while, so I might as well talk about something else for a moment. I was thinking maybe I would start another Let's Play video series from an entirely different game. I thought I would do some kind of video where I list the top 10 games I would like to record, and of course leave also an open mind for any suggestions from you guys of which game should I pick, or you pick one for me. I would put some links to my game collection or something like that. Of course I would have to exclude any games that I can't record properly, and also those where the frame rate would drop too low while recording. And of course any games that I don't like enough to play them again, or for the first time. I do have some of those, but mainly I just don't have enough time to play all the games I get. So many games, so little time. And RCT has taken a lot of that time. Anyway, now the roof is pretty much complete. Finishing touches. Then it's time to add something to the end of the building, a sign in the middle. Going to change its background into a rusty wall or whatever that is, so it stands out more. Going with the scrolling sign there, and of course it picks the Nile instead of genie in a bottle, so I had to correct it. Pick some colors, and then maybe some walls here. I think I'm gonna put some fences instead. First gotta add a skylight window to the building. Make it more appealing. And now for the fences. Maybe some hedges. Nope. Conifer hedge instead. And the other end as well. And the building is complete. Yay! Looks much nicer than that huge queue area. And then it's on to the next building. I'm going to cover this feeding ground here, whatever you want to call it. Going with the stone walls and some jungle roofs. I have to admit this looks really ugly at the moment. I've added it to my list of things to correct when I start recording live. It's just stupid having a almost flat roof like that. And now it's time to unleash pyramid power! I talked about this in some previous episode that I'm gonna place a pyramid right on top of the motion simulator. Gotta shorten the queue line first so the pyramid fits better. At this point I should have just deleted the whole queue line and rebuild it instead of trying to build it or redirect it one piece at a time, which is quite frustrating to do because it always defaults to going to those brown paths instead of queue lines. One piece at a time, gotta delete those paths so it doesn't default to them. Corners are particularly taxing to do, but now it's done. Then gonna change to stone path all around it, reopen the ride, and then pyramid power smack dab in the middle of it. Then I gotta remove that info kiosk so the corner won't remain uncovered by any walls. Add some more flowers to fill in that gap. Ooh, haunted mansion ride invented. Egyptian walls, no, they don't fit because the height is 5 units or whatever. Going with the Roman walls because those are 3 units high and fences are 2 units. Going all around it looks pretty good, except that the colors don't match, but they're close enough. Maybe some kind of embankment here now. Some more walls on the other side. Don't know if you heard that rumbling in the background, but it was an explosion because they're building a subway tunnel pretty much right underneath my house. It's scheduled to be complete in 2015, so I'm gonna get to use that if I still live here. And anyways, now the walls are almost complete around the pyramid, except for this side, of course. Gotta do it as well and think of something to put in that extra space there. A roof, of course, some plinths. This thing's gonna look pretty sweet when it's done. Gonna be a lot of things like statues in those temples and a sphinx and gardens, fountains and pillars. Pretty much everything in the Roman theming except for the Colosseum. Unfortunately won't fit in this episode, but you'll get to see the Sphinx pretty soon, I think. First some column walls, finish off with the Roman walls. In hindsight, I shouldn't have built this Roman stuff here because all of the Roman themed rides are gonna be on the other side of the river, near the junior coaster and next to the pirate area. But anyway, this is going to have to continue in the next episode, so see you there.